How do you get ahead of most people in 6 to 12 months? If I told you right now, if you follow this formula, you'll get significantly more done than most people you know. You'll make more money, you'll end up more confident, you'll build a better physique, and all of that in just 6 to 12 months. Is it even possible to begin with? Some people are going to say no way, but I can tell you from my own experience, if you block out all the noise, all the distractions for a set amount of time, like 6 to 12 months, you can get so much stuff done. It's going to blow your mind. It's kind of like if you're trying to lose weight. You can decide to have a couple cheat meals a week. However, to lose the amount of weight that you want to lose, it's probably going to take a bit longer because you will have to regulate those calories on other days. Now, if you decide to just stick to a clean diet, you track your calories, you track your macros, you're going to lose weight a lot faster because you're not going to have to regulate the calories from the cheat meals. I like to say that the shorter the time frame, the harder the intensity, because obviously, if you're trying to achieve a specific outcome faster, you'll need to provide more force, more input. It's kind of like if you're riding a bike. Like, think of it this way. You want to go faster. What do you need to do? You need to pedal faster as well. In any given system, you have inputs and outputs. The inputs are the things that you feed the system with, and the outputs, it's what comes out. For instance, if we take your energy as an example, to have energy, what do you need? You need to sleep, to eat, to drink, to hydrate yourself. And if you do all of those things correctly, you will have physical energy. Those are the inputs, and the physical energy is the output. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you understand those two fundamental concepts, you can honestly achieve anything you want and a lot faster than you actually think. A lot of people, they think that if they want to become successful, it's going to take them forever. That's not true. I'm sure you've heard this saying. Most people seriously underestimate what they can do in 10 years and they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. And while that's technically true, there's Peter Thiel, which is a billionaire, who was one of the people who said, try to accomplish in 6 months your 10-year goals. And now you may say, how can I do that? It sounds a lot, right? To accomplish what you want to accomplish in 10 years in just 6 months? How is it even possible? It is simply going to force you to look at things differently. It's going to force you to work harder as well. Like, for instance, if you watch 3 hours of Netflix per day, or you spend 5 hours a day scrolling on TikTok, on Instagram, watching content that doesn't really bring any value to your life, that is not actually helping you to reach your own objectives, you'll cut out that time and focus on working on your goals. Because honestly, a lot of people, they say, I want to be a millionaire, I want to get in shape, I want this, I want that. But when you look at their daily activities, they are clearly showing where their priorities are. Because it's one thing to talk about what you want, it's another thing to do what it takes to obtain the sort of results that you want. And I mean, to give you an example, at the time I'm recording this video, I publish around 2 videos a day on YouTube to grow the channel. So that goes to show you that to reach your goals, you will probably need to do more than you expect. You need to become brutally aware of where you are in life right now, and of the fact that if you don't take drastic action to change your situation, a year down the line, you'll be in the exact same position. I had a teacher at some point, and he said something to me, it really stuck with me. He said, you know what's scary? Year after year, everything looks the same. We're getting older, but nothing is getting better. Time is flying by, but the days look the same. And that might be great if you're in a good position, you love your life. But honestly, for most people, is it really the case? I would argue it's not. And at the time, I didn't say anything back. But the thing that I wanted to say was, you need to take responsibility for your own situation. I see so many people having so many excuses. They think they can't do this, they can't do that. But what I honestly think is that at the end of the day, it all comes down to priorities. When somebody says, I don't have time to do this, or I don't have time to meet up with you, what they are really saying is, it's not in my priorities. A lot of people, they vaguely know what they want. They don't even have a crystal clear vision of what they want. Honestly, if you ask most people, they want to make more money, they want to look better, feel better, have more energy, have more free time to focus on their hobbies, to do what they love, they want to travel more, to make more money, to be more confident, to get laid more, or to have a loving partner. Everybody wants the same things at the end of the day. That's what I've noticed personally, because if you analyze everything on a deep level, you will see that it usually comes back to the main fundamentals of being human. For instance, why do people want to obtain a higher status? Why do people want to get laid? Why do people want to find a loving partner? Now pause this video and write down the answer in the comments. But I'll tell you the answer. It all comes down to love, to the need for being loved. And that is going to be especially true if growing up you didn't receive much love. And so most people, they have this vague idea of what they want. You will hear them for New Year's resolutions say that, oh, they're going to stop smoking, they're going to stop drinking, they're going to, take control back of their life, they're going to go to the gym every morning before work, they're going to start their business on the side because they've always wanted to be a business owner, they're going to take singing lessons. But from what I've seen, all of that, most of the time, it is simply wishes that people throw around to make themselves feel good in the short term so they get that quick rush of dopamine, but they don't really do anything about it. If you go to the gym, you'll know what I'm talking about. In January, after the Christmas break, there's more people at the gym. But then, a few months later, you can see those same people, they're not coming to the gym anymore because they just gave up along the way. And that is why when you want to do anything in life, life. You want to change your situation. If you try to make changes which are way too drastic, you will probably get sick and tired of it, honestly. You'll be discouraged and you are very likely to quit early on. And that's too bad because honestly the key to success is to be consistent for a long period of time. But not only that, because to be honest, you could be consistently doing the wrong thing and it's not going to lead you to getting what you want at the end of the day. Like I know some people at the gym, they're lifting weights incorrectly, so no matter how hard they try, they're not going to get the desired outcome. Or if you try to start a business but you have no clue what you're doing, you don't have anyone there to guide you, so you're making so many mistakes. And the worst part is that you think you're doing things correctly, but in reality you don't even realize that you're making so many fundamental mistakes. Like how many times have I been on a one-on-one call with a business owner, and most of the time those people, the ones who were not making any money whatsoever, they always had the same common issues. And one of those issues, it was that they were trying to work with multiple niches at the same time, and they were offering different services because they were thinking, oh, I need to target everyone, I need to sell to everyone, and I can sell everything. But that is not true. And when you first start in business, this mindset is going to completely destroy you, because trust me, you're not going to speak to plumbers the same way that you're going to speak to realtors or to hair salon owners. You're not going to speak to somebody who is overweight and who wants to drop 20 pounds the same way that you're going to speak to the 50-year-old male who wants to get more customers for his business. And that is exactly why in business you need to pick a niche, sell one product or one service to one very specific type of customer. That's what we call the client avatar. And if you do that for long enough to see the results that you want, at some point you'll become successful. It's inevitable. To be honest with you, what pushed me to start my own online business, it was my anti-vision. Now you might know what a vision is. Most likely you know what it is. It's what you want. If you want to live in New York, for instance, you want to live in a penthouse, or you want to travel whenever you want to have an amazing social circle, have friends that understand you, that are like you, maybe you have this dream job that you are working hard to get. So what you want, it's your vision. But then there is also the opposite of that, which is your anti-vision. And most people, they don't stop and pause for a moment and ask themselves, what is my anti-vision? But looking back at my own life, at my own childhood, at my own story, it's often the things that I didn't want that drove me to take action much more than the things that I wanted. For instance, there is something which is called loss aversion. It means that people, they will do more to avoid losing something as opposed to gaining something. For instance, if right now I told you you're going to lose your home unless you work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day for 30 days straight. Let's be honest, you are going to work your butt off, you're going to work those 10 hours, those 12 hours to not lose your home, because you can't afford to lose your home. However, if I told you, if you work for 10 to 12 hours straight for 30 days, you're going to make $2,000 extra. Would you do it? Some people, they might. That is completely true. But how many people would actually be willing to do it? Honestly, not that many. So while the ideal vision, the things that you want, they might motivate you, the truth is that they might not motivate you enough to drive you to take action on a consistent basis and to do all of the things that you need to do to become successful. And honestly, if you ask me, one of the keys to success is simply asking yourself the right questions. Most people, low income, middle class, they say, oh, we can't afford this. Like they tell their kids, no, it's too expensive, don't buy that, you can't do it. But all of their lives, they work really hard, they pay taxes, they barely get any rest, and then one day they retire and they die, and that's what they call living. But during their lifetime, they never even bother to ask themselves, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this, how can I make more money? How can I live a better life? And growing up low income, we didn't have really that much money to spend. I heard my parents over the dinner table complaining literally every single night about the price of a salad, the price of meat, the price of vegetables. And so as a kid, when you grow up in that kind of environment, what kind of mindset are you really going to have? But me, I heard that, and I looked at most people, at the lives they were living. I saw my own parents working hard and yet not making that much, not having that much freedom, if any freedom at all. And I wondered, really, is that all there is to life? Like we are all just struggling so hard, but in the end, what's the outcome? Because it's one thing to suffer, to obtain a goal, to reach some kind of achievement, to build a better life for yourself and for your loved ones. But it's something else entirely to suffer for literally no reason. And so from a very young age, I understood that to obtain something which is very different than the sort of life that most people would have, I would need to be doing something which is also very different to what most people are doing. There's two ways to learn something, in my opinion. You can either learn what to do from somebody who is successful at whatever it is that you want to learn, or you can also look at the people who don't have the sort of resource that you want and then do the exact opposite. Like for instance, if you want to invest in real estate or in the stock market, and let's say you want to buy this specific stock, and all of a sudden you hear everyone and their mother talking about this stock and how they're going to buy it and become so rich thanks to it. You know what? Run the hell away. At some point on YouTube I made a short and I said that if you see the masses doing something, you need to do the opposite. And lots of people, they made the obvious joke. They took it literally. They said, oh, so if people are breathing, I should not be breathing. Or some people said, oh, so if there is a natural catastrophe and the crowd is running to escape it, then I should just run the other way. Obviously, that's very silly. However, let's be honest, if you look at most successful people, you look at their day-to-day, they're not doing the same things that most people are. I think it was a study by Tom Corley, but in it he studied the habits of millionaires and of very successful people compared to the average person. And to give you an example, one of the statistics that really impacted me, and I really remember it, it was that most millionaires, they spent less than 1 hour a day watching TV, compared to the regular person which spent 2 to 4, even sometimes 5 hours a day watching TV. And so people, they complain about not having the sort of life that they want, but they're not really willing to put in the work, to put in the necessary sacrifices. I mean, at the time I'm recording this video, I publish 2 videos a day on YouTube. That is an insane amount of frequency. And some people, they say, why don't you hire a better editor? Why don't you add music to your videos? Why don't you make things look nice? But I can tell those people they have not watched my older videos, because sometimes my videos are well edited, they're engaging, there's a nice background music, it builds tension and suspense, and I prefer those videos 10 times more. That is completely true. However, what I've noticed is that it doesn't necessarily grow the channel that much more. Now, why am I saying this? I'm telling you this because to reach your goals, you will often have to do a lot more volume than you actually think. So what do I mean by that? If you start a business, if you think that you're going to get to 10k per month by reaching out to 3 to 10 people a day, you are kidding yourself. If you think that you're going to build a great muscular physique by going to the gym 1 time a week for like 3 months, you're honestly kidding yourself. Because the people that you're looking up to, they've been building their body in the gym for 15 years. And they've been going at least a couple times a week. So if you want a specific outcome, you need to ask yourself, what does it take? And the only way you figure that out is you look at the people who have this kind of outcome. And you look at all the sacrifices they had to make to get to that level. And you'll see, you will probably need to do a lot more. And it's going to take longer than you expected. But as human beings, it's in our nature to be lazy. Let's face it. Would you not rather just plop down on the couch, be with someone you love, and watch some Netflix, something very entertaining, as opposed to sitting down at your computer and typing, writing an essay for 3 hours? I'll tell you this, I would much prefer to be on the couch and to be watching something entertaining, as opposed to writing a 3-hour essay. We all want to go for that quick, easy dopamine in the short term. That is how we are wired to be. But at the same time, all of the things that we want, to be healthy, to be fit, to make more money, to be more confident, to have a nice social circle, those things, they require you to delay gratification, because the work that you'll need to put in right now, this instant, to later down the line achieve that big goal, it's not always going to be pleasant. But if you're not willing to do it, you're not going to get the results. Life works in a very simple way, in my opinion. You want something, you're going to put in some work to get it. And to obtain that thing which you want, you need to get lucky. But to get lucky, you also need to most likely work your butt off. And at some point, you'll quote unquote get lucky. But honestly, right now, if you don't have an entire vision, meaning you took a piece of paper and you wrote down exactly what is going to happen, if you don't do the work, the worst case scenario you will be in if you don't actually do everything in your power to get out of this horrible situation. Like maybe right now you're in university, you're studying to go get a job that you honestly just don't want, or maybe right now you have a 9 to 5 but you hate it. It doesn't allow you to have any freedom, you can't travel, you can't spoil the people that you love, it doesn't even pay for a lifestyle that you just love. I'll tell you this one thing, if you don't write down that entire vision, you don't take serious action right now to change your life, you'll be just like my teacher. The years are going to fly by and a couple years down the road, you'll still be in the same exact position. Now for those of you who are very ambitious, you want to start an online business, you want to make 6, even hell 7 figures a year, I've recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together we take a look at the pros and at the cons of every online business model, and I'm also going to share with you the 3-step process that you can use to start getting your first customers today. If you're interested, the link is in the description below. And with that said, as always, I am waiting for you on the other side.